Yes, welcome and good afternoon. I'm say and the weekends way me try senka me yenya some discussion everywhere but na time no enye we na network no so enye stable sir but I think now it's better we can have a conversation and wherever you're watching me from, say or Facebook and say or YouTube. I think just come around and let's have a conversation, share. And another topic I ever come is quite an interesting one. Be sure say the recent reshuffle by the president and unim say conversation be akoso around it. With barely 10 months to go to the next election, this is the time reshuffle Abba. So the big question I say is it too late? And I say these people brought on board, bet me pulling magic beer, ebe boyen ama ye turn the situation around and this is a significant question. I'm sure say baby I will be no, you might be very much interested just as I am. And when your opportunity to be here, just share, put it on any platform be or to be sebeya obin so a bit to me a follow discussion, na yehu the call. So far I see Douglas. Yes, Douglas from Ohio. Thank you very much. I see Danny Mens, Robert Lamte. Thank you very much for coming on board. So like I said, wherever you're watching us from, say Facebook, YouTube, wherever, just seize the opportunity and share. Sebeya Obinso. Thank you very much. Obinso benye biya share. Ama yehu de ekoso. So like I'm saying, so changes President Akufo-Addo aye at this time. Question will be a say why this time? Because Obekaya in the last 7 years, Ghana have been asking, calling on the president, say yenye changes because amamun baby ekono enkoye. And there were classic signs I say most of his appointees, are failing. Winnim bibia kra no, utu wani the finance ministry or no ankasana na wafase and a cousin. Ayakendo for da no. You don't need a soothsayer to tell you say we have failed. So people were calling on the president, at least as president, every single brain in the country is at your disposal. Do something, ensure say you make changes, infuse certain new ideas are coming on board. Maybe we're not going well. And the response of the president was quite shocking. He granted an interview in Tamale, one of the radio stations, and his conclusion as a comment to make and said those calling on him said only changes were either jobless or there were people with opposition. So he never paid heed to those calls. But there were enough evidence to point to pointed to the fact to say a minor are taking a nosedive. Economically, we were retrogressing. Because all the signs that pointed to a downward economic spiral were quite apparent. It will be a year because of your debt to a GDP at the time, with a forecast coming from the IMF, the World Bank, that clearly shows that something needed to be done. So we share your friends saying ratings are from reputable rating agencies across the globe. Rating countries and organizations, institutions around the world were telling us that no, things are not really going well because we were rated junk status. But these people find a way to flip the narrative to make it look like say, oh, everything was okay. And or more Casano and your friend is saying about your friend said Nemanana Kosona. He could have done something to your friend saying save the situation. But President prioritized the kind of family connections are all with these people and decided say there should be And in the end, ya titi economy na titi pansam no ene. Ghana's economy is in tatters unless you want to do raw politics, emotional politics, and because things are really going well. Because the fundamentals of this particular economy at this point in time, there is nothing to be proud of as a Ghanaian. So the question is, why didn't he pay heed to those calls? He rather insulted us. So now with barely few months to go, yesterday I spoke to somebody on Joy FM, and the question was, is 10 months to elections enough time for us to effect any changes? Let me say, I don't see 10 months. We don't have 10 months. Because Unim Ghana said the electioneering year, said the politics here. From October going, Overcome ministries, they are shut down. Everybody will go to the ground to do campaign. So active years or active months these people will get to work, it's less than 10 months. And if you look at the damage these people have caused to this country in the last 7 years, I am not sure. So these guys who have been brought on board, able to me, I conjure any magic to flip the stakes, or maybe to bring something on able to me as a said in Nemasiko. So the reality is, I don't see these changes by the president, any attempt to be able to do anything good, but rather no. What I see who say, I come obedi and the time or coffee, and there are a lot of people in the queue. One more juma, and that there is the need to compensate them in the last minute. That is why he has decided to bring these guys on board. So it's just a job for the boys. More because there is nothing about these people or more they back on board flip the narrative around that because of A, B, C, and there is absolutely nothing. And that is the reality. That is the sad reality we are confronted with. Hoping at least certain changes being kept because then. Because look at the finance ministry and there can no free target boss when there at Saikra eka and many and taxes and a year consistently no ye heap into the people of this country. Businesses cannot get any saying space pretty and their businesses are thriving and the private sector now say and a engine of whatever no and then private sector no send it. These are the realities. So prioritizing politics, family and friends over interest of the country. And I say I did everything into politics. And I say at this point, then the president comes back to tell us changes, and you have the media no fixating on the fact that the president has finally effected changes. But the critical questions are as to why and now he's not asking, because Makasa, we are president, he has every right to decide when to effect changes and when not to. And I am a right, and as citizens, we don't have any right to force the president to say on your changes are not. But the citizens are right when they realize things are not really working. And in our case, things are not really working. Things are not really working. And as citizens demand changes from the president, it's a good call. And as a president, you are not a repository of wisdom or a repository of knowledge. Always and always, you take decisions. Sometimes you need to be amenable to other alternative where people are bringing on board. And that was the expectation. Abrana those nemano kosono. Look at the rate at which Konoforata decided you on one ne firms to lead negotiations to borrow for this country, and in the end, he will get paid. Look at the time and the frequency on the bond market, subscribing to loans within 4 years. Now you over $11 billion at the back Chroma saying. Aside that, Bosiana na ye bossa left, right, center, left, right, center, left, right, center. Ubisa ne sasa Bosiana or boy, a dear ben and a disasicania. Yeah, one shower their home tia babuna kuno, because there is absolutely nothing this guy will be able to point to say, oh, Charlie, ya Gigi Sicano, ya the A, B, C, D, and I say that. Dollar rate, send a city and there. Yesterday, na me can some one of a host of a radio station. Many of you are not aware. Say in the last 1 year, near Ghana, yen service your debt. Sika ya tam de kwa service your debt, no, yet because we have unilaterally taken a decision, say we can't service our debt. So say yen first can kwa service your debt here. The understanding is that the CD should be stable. The CD should be stable. But then CD dollar ay 12 CDs. So imagine senka still ay service your debt and can send even domestically near yet debt restructuring and there or more deal for payment as a government to your mocha or more modi or musica invest in the banks through your friend saying or more fixed deposit and those kind of way or musica have been suspended payments, and yet so it means the government is accumulating money. So why is it that the CD still not any stable? These are questions we should be asking. A trust say the damage these guys have done to the economy of this country. Anya good year, anya politics say you can now you fire no. So Akufo-Addo enye so onim de oye. Yes, Douglas, I agree with you. Omunim de omoye. Omo buy with an agenda to milk this country, make money and go away. He doesn't care whether say or mine or after him will survive or not. Because near more ye nyina ay deliberate. Near more ye nyina mo adwen ho omunim de omoye. And they decided to put this country on the line na ye nam sui. Na de nyina mess up we na and na agin now with few months to go no, and then you're coming back to tell us and oh ye changes. So yeah, na ye bisa ye call it on say ye changes and I will see ye naysayers. Ebinomie and the near Senator Safiri and then as for those name calling no and then wow yes are changes no where they that is the question you should be asking. So today Akufo-Addo has become the biggest nightmare for Ghanaians. With a kind of reckless mismanagement and then as a former one level in it weekend, Ghana cannot find end means to anything. Because the economy no here and there. That is why I'm saying whoever inherit this economy is going to have a tough time because these guys have dissipated all the fundamentals. There is absolutely nothing. Now that joker of a vice president took the stage and told us, oh no. The kind of economy handed to them in 2016, the Omo Bejano 2025 and are far better than the Omo inherited. Yeah, that is another joke coming from a certain vice president. I don't know, and they're all running away from all the responsibility today. And never we are not have the infantry to tell Ghanaians say they are going to live a good economy. 2016, na Ghana Omo rated a junk status. 2016 dollar rate net is saying and na yetimia kwa ma inflation akwa kudru 51%. Bank rate, can you borrow to do business? These are the realities. Borrowing now can what is our debt portfolio? Your debt to your GDP is saying to the extent that out there we have no credibility, we can't go to the financial space to borrow because we've been reckless. No country and they are prepared. So today we are on IMF program. These people, Baumia and Co, made a bold statement on political platforms. A president all nim nyansa na ko IMF. And today you be at IMF, no, does it mean say nim nyansa? Because you have actually mismanaged the economy. You have mismanaged the economy to a point we are. And these are the reality. Instead of him to be bold enough and accept responsibilities, actually, I didn't buy promises and apologize to Ghanaians. Today, that joker is on the various platforms telling Ghanaians that they should vote for him to become president because or don't know your mate keke. Now, mate, crowd want to me and perform rule well. President in Edema or bet me a day. Omo kasa se biya so mo nwene. Somebody who couldn't be a mate, driver na the car na ma bet me aye. And who do we have time to do that kind of risky and dangerous experimentation? Because Baumia was given a free room to operate as a vice president. Akufo-Addo came and told us, Bawumia, when it comes to the economy, the guy is knowledgeable. And the dying economy national on manage it. Today, this is the track record. We are living in it week. Economy is in rubbles. Economy is in tatters. There is absolutely nothing to be proud of as a Ghanaian. And today, you have the gut to come back and tell us we should vote for you. And they have some surrogate in the media, some Highlands, who goes around the media with a certain sick rationalization that the guy was just a mate. Me say go under the current constitutional arrangement, we are vice president. You are not a pushover. You are not a CC, neither are you a pussy. You have a role, a defined role. And the president, assigning it to other role. On the manage the head of the economic management team in charge of policies and then as if economically, how far have we fared under him? Now that joker has run away from the economic front. Today he tells you he's an IT coordinator, trying to create impressions on the internet back room. Say, I ask a good deal with Nipa so. We really need to be serious and see these people for who they are, because there are a lot of spin doctors within the media. They get paid for telling lies. They are their media surrogate and Highlands. They get paid for lying to people. They engaging in misinformation and disinformation campaign just to confuse people, just try to make things look normal. So, Bawumia there or a new person of it. But I am telling you, but that Bawumia guy is not coming from Cambodia. He's not coming from China. He's here with us. We know him. We know his track record. We know the kind of terrible track record they've left in their wake. So that guy is a very dangerous guy. An incompetent one as such, to be trusted with the fortunes of this country. Because One Akufo-Addo, the promises that they made in 2016, the various traits he put out there, he told us, and we believed him, that Mahama was borrowing recklessly at the time. And if you go back to 2016 and you are able to do counting as to what kind of investments were done by Mahama, you will get tens. I bet to me amount of certain consolation. Ask yourself, so today, from 120 billion, we are hovering around 800 billion. What have we done with those monies? A dear Bayan, I bet me see Ubuakasa, Yajiji Sikano, Yakojisikana Bani Afanyans, Aquansonia Chamayo. One of such way and a year ho na ya degedaho awo. Yesi cathedral, and then about one of the biggest hole. But people around it have all benefited. They've all been paid. But all the monies involved, no payments have been paid. Go back and check the amount of money we've wasted. Sa project when yenya and Kruphobia or somewhere so for. Tijina Krum ha call and say yam see a sorry diamond. I said we in the power to us no winning yansa and krati a form is there. And so there are some towns in this country, and so boom, and Grand have to go home. A man from we national service or musica chromuntia. And moody idea we him say yensi cathedral man coupon when the economy is sinking today, and then our damn biggest hole at the honor. So it's not as if say things now is just coincident, deliberate. Many silly decisions taken by these guys, and then aggregate a drive here to the kind of dangerous cliff na you're likely to slip to perdition if care is not taken. And at the same time, guy now what push here to stand on the cliff is out there telling us man president. What a joke. And today he's telling you that he's not responsible or not a mate. Mate as a vice president. But you see, politics, let me see, lower the stakes. Are you so cheap that any joker at all can just take the political stage and say, I want to be this, I want to be that? Because you see, there are a session of the media, the so-called traditional media. They have normalized this whole thing, reduced everything into NDC MPP, and because they hate the other side, whether I don't know a yo and yo, and we don't come my way. But you see, politics, you have to be very factual, You have to deal with numbers. You have to deal with your friend saying the records will speak for itself. Yes, Danny Menz, thank you very much. But today he's running away from those records. And this same joker will go to the other side and tell you, say, when it comes to digitalization and IT, and in some all kind of correct, but the media will not correct him. Because Bawumia is creating an impression, say, when they come to say Ghana, the government services, e-services and echo online or the buy, that is not true. Because there is a video or circulation. Mahu, this former Minister of Communication, this fair woman, we were finishing kakra. Omo air launch those things. But the government then didn't even make a big deal out of those things because those things are not meant for vice president to do. Minister in charge of the sector are the people who are supposed to handle these things. But today, he's trying to create impressions, government services na ever online, on the buy, which is a lie. Passport, apply for way, you see, the Nippon Kobiti are making big claim for some of these things, even could be Mahama, because when it comes to investment, digital infrastructure, the guy really invested in digital infrastructure because for any digitalization or whatever to take off, you need to invest in the infrastructure so you can leverage it for a takeoff. Ask Bawumia, say, I didn't know they born on WhatsApp for him. I didn't know they born on WhatsApp for him. Yes, Hannah Tete, thank you very much, Innocent Beua. I didn't know they born on WhatsApp for him. Investment bang and a wire a womb. And a platform where but because if the resources are available, leveraging it to do things, it's so easy because this mobile money interoperability where you know they're trying to have on at the buy, And when you have the infrastructure, it's just a system. It's just a system where you just go onto it because and yet we are not the only country that is on those things. A system that is in play in Africa, and a lot of African countries are on it. So introduce such things here, and yet anything as a vice president, you go around the country telling people, say, when I would buy it. And with this Ghana card started somewhere for time. And I know. The NDC government came and continued. They even got to the point of say issue cars and then as for their mom for. It's just where these are things that but you can appropriate it as if say your brain where you want to buy and people are around there. This joker is telling you say he's a driver's mate and he cannot be blamed for what is happening. But today he's taking claims on the day. Your friend is saying internet as if it's on the internet back Ghana. Today he's telling you say economy not a tumble no. Economy not taking nosedive, economy not crashing. He cannot be blamed because he's a driver's mate. But at the same time, he can take credit for digitalization. He can take credit for e-services in this country. That is a joke. That is a joke. And you see, you can't blame him. You can only blame the media. Because I am happy I will say a China phone or more happy, as if say a iPhone and a Ghana for toy. Today, we have had 7 years dealing with the Akufo-Addo nemesis. Because the guy has become a nightmare for everybody. And because we believe in democracy, you cannot overthrow his government. We need to wait for him to finish his term. By the time of a corner, now Ghana are taking 1,000 years steps backwards. So the vice president will roar yado to the economy now and say, bra, financial bra. Now you making sure say you bet me a push the economy to a certain level. You bring some stability. Now you leverage for gains. Today the economy itself cannot be stabilized. How much more leveraging it for gains? And you want to promise your young people who were employed our NAPCO and then as for till date, people call me and complain, say, Ivan, we are done. We've been discharged, but still they are owning us. They've not paid us. This is a government that couldn't even. This is a government that is not even, cannot even pay 100,000 people. Service, file, discharge people. There are nurses who are doing national service. They are not being paid. That is how low governance in your reduce to first and you say obi the car the only way you the car won't mean home buying, but today a buying their man for car they are not willing to pay, all because of this reckless bunch of individuals who came to make money for themselves. And then that shameless guy is out there asking, say Ghana for Ntwaba. That is why I keep telling you, say elections do have consequences. We a mistake. Na basa ba umia no na nam say Ntwaba man no. We a mistake na kotwaba ma ba umia. Then you should know, say we have a long way to go. And at that point, you cannot blame anybody, because these guys are intellectual imposters. They are fraudsters. They only try to create impressions. They are very intelligent, putting figures together. The last time I listened to a funny rationalization, somebody sat on TV and says, "Oh, okay, so in terms of percentages, they are more bottom. When we are going to service our debt, do we service our debt in percentages? We don't." Figures no and now kwa do baby and IMF catcher and say your debt to your GDP no eclipse yen. Baby your debt no. We have done rebase, we have rebased the economy in terms of GDP. My debt to GDP no at a form, and so when there were projections said we are likely to cross 100 and over. Don't forget that the same people, the Omaina Japadian, every single thing. Yeah, the Sisiakam. So what country are we building? Your former good year, you know, but finance are contract on tone in a Janawako. That is the reality. Yet when that is the reality. So nothing is working. And we need to realize this. The economy. So if there is anything, we need to prioritize the economy, make it work again. Because say dollar no cost affect business, affect you. Because government, any other alternative and taxes and I prioritize and they imposing taxes. But these same jokers told Ghanaians say we are moving away from taxation to industrialization. Go and ask them. Industrialization, where are the industries? The industries they promised us, man for believing in and for that matter voted for the Akufo-Addo administration. Where are the industries? One district, one factory, never have. Even common dams, come promise here in the northern region for irrigation, they didn't. And that was even another stupid promise, because for irrigation, must come to complement something. It means that you are going to invest in agric. Because irrigation for what? So planting for food and jobs, Ekoku see say every na that funny agric minister who promised Obabe your friends saying all your food planting for food and jobs, we are now on munam tomboard here over the ministry. These jokers in Yinaba ministers I'm on mine not to pansa men. Now you are telling us that you are doing reshuffle for them. Reshuffle to come is a compensatory package for people who didn't actually get job in the early stage, and he realized that Okotenefia you want to bo into the end sacrifice people and give them job. That's exactly what he's doing. And Kendo Foreta, I say, oh yeah, government envoy to whatever, and I don't even want to talk about it. You see, because it's an insult to everybody. This is a guy on one kasa the party for Soraka said Dabi. Say the let the guy go home. And so what's we changes what's it unrepresented Ghana in what? This is a guy what draining investor confidence in the economy. This is a guy what bringing the Ghana's economy on its knees. So if such a character is out there negotiating on behalf of this country, and is he credit worthy? What is level? What credibility is he bringing to the table for any negotiation? Because this is a guy who has destroyed the economy, and today he's being sent out there to represent the interests of Ghana. Just that Akufo-Addo freeze these are his family members. He cannot just let them go. So they must be hovering around. And this is the sad reality. That is the kind of conversation we need to have within the so-called mainstream media. But these guys have become spin doctors. They are the highlands of these individuals. They are more united to try to control the narrative. Say look good because it's quite funny. Said these people still have energy, the infantry, to get out there and be defending Baumi and say he's the come on, what a joke. What a joke. I think that I'm having a challenge with my network. Let me see if I can